A few days before the 109th Battalion departed Lindsay, the men and officers of the battalion gathered in what was then called the Royal Hotel. And here they had a feast of fantastic proportions: lake trout, beef tongue, roast beef, turkey, ham, maple walnut ice cream, various kinds of cakes and pies, a feast fit for a king, really. And this menu was copied down in the Lindsay Watchman Warder newspaper. We decided almost immediately that we had to incorporate this event into our commemorative weekend. The original dinner, of course, was held at the Royal Hotel, but we had to do something at the Lindsay Victoria Park Armory, since that had such an intimate connection to the battalion and to the First World War. So that is where we held the dinner. We put together what I think by all accounts was a delightful dinner and evening, complete with entertainment from soldiers of song. I should note that the original dinner did have entertainment from 3 fellows out of Toronto who did stories and songs very much in the tradition of soldiers of song.
Anyway, we know another Sir Harry Lauder song, don't we, lads? 1, 2, 3, yeah! I'll never forget the day I went to join the 93rd. The chaps I used to run with, well, they thought I looked absurd. They saluted me and gathered round me in a ring, and when I whacked my tartan kilt, they all began to sing. He's a braw, him, and a brave John McLean. There's no another soldier like him in the Scots Brigade. The red among the heather, you can tell I'm Scottish built by the wig, wiggle, waggle of my kilt.
We had one gentleman show up with a poppy pinned to his lapel, and he asked me, is it necessary to wear a poppy? And I said, no, because on the one hand we were in fact remembering, but we were also commemorating and indeed celebrating, because this is what happened 100 years ago. These men marching off to war very gallantly were in a festive mood. They didn't stand there frowning about the loss of comrades, because that hadn't happened yet. They were there enthusiastically cheering each other on and looking forward to this great adventure they were about to undertake overseas. So we wanted to capture that mood, and hence, while we did have people show up in uniforms, we wanted to convey the impression of community spirit. The atmosphere was very festive, it was celebratory, it was fun, dare I say that, and everyone enjoyed themselves, and that's exactly what we wanted to convey.
So I'll ask you to raise your glasses to the toast to King George V.
King George.
George V.
Long may he reign.
Of course, in honor of his reign during the First World War. Have another drink if you wish. King George V.
We wanted to make it a commemorative event, because commemoration doesn't have to be sad. It can convey elements of joy, of mourning, of many different emotions at a variety of levels.
Let us remain standing and quietly remember those who gave their lives and continue to give their lives in the service of others at home and abroad.
Well, I'm Laurie Scott, and I'm the Member of Provincial Parliament for the riding of Haliburton-Kawartha Lakes-Brock. And my grandfather Scott was in World War I, was recruited with the battalion out of Haliburton County, and came down to join the Victoria County Boys, and over 1,000 men were shipped off to fight in World War I, and this is the 100th anniversary this evening. It's a great celebration. We have his uniform still to this day that we have on display here this evening, and it's just remarkable 100 years later that my brother and I are both here, and that we are celebrating his small part of Canadian history.
The 109 for us here in Lindsay and area is something that I think everybody should know a little bit about.
We can't forget these little communities in rural Ontario who didn't have a lot of people living there and were basically either farming or in the lumber industry. They all rallied And to have 1,000 people come from Victoria and Haliburton counties in the early 1900s was remarkable. And it's just wonderful tonight that the Historical Society has put on such a great display. And I think we're here to give thanks and for the memories. And
I'm amazed. You get the impression, once again, when you talk to people in town, that they're not concerned about their heritage. But we packed this hall. This is probably the most people that ever sat in this hall for a sit-down meal. And they come because they recognize and they're proud of their heritage.
Well, that was wonderful. I enjoyed the food, the entertainment they had, and all the songs and their stories. It was really educational and lots of memories.
I had a neighbor who was in the First World War, and I knew a little bit, but not enough. So I was interested to learn more. And it's just been a fascinating evening.